vultures go down there. So it looks like Tempest is going to want to push out here after having killed all those vultures. Yeah, he's going to push out with these zealots. Really epic mind drag. Really unfortunate for Leta. I think that was a bit of a stroke of luck on the part of Tempest, having not only caught a mine just at the perfect moment, but also just having Leta not brought in the SCVs to build turrets, no scan going off, and just dodging the first mines in the first place. Really just a stroke of luck on Tempest's part. Now he's going to clean this all up and be left with a pretty sizable force of about 6 Dragoons and a Zealot there, as well as the Arbiter still intact. However, this is something you don't see every day. Leta, the Terran player, is going for his expansion before Tempest does. And like I said, that probe has been sitting there for quite some time now. Some scans going off just to check out the forces, see where they're at, see how many there are. And I really, regardless of that push being completely slaughtered, I'm going to have to say that Leta definitely has the advantage here. Not just because he's Leta, but because he does have this base going up. Another scanner is going up as well, and he's just going to be able to completely out macro the Terran or the Protoss player very shortly. He's already got those minerals incoming right now, whereas the Nexus on the opposite side is just coming up. So yeah, I'm gonna have to set Leta way in the advantage here, as well as his upgrades are they're 0-0 right now. But I did see the armory building a little while before, and just that forge coming up now. So I really, like I was saying, I really think that Leta has got this game in the bag if he can just hold off anything that that Tempest is looking to do here. And I really don't think he's looking to do much of anything. He's a little bit on. He knows he's on the back foot, but at the same time, I'm not so sure that he knows that Leta has expanded, or rather he does. Sorry, there is an observer right there. He sees that turret. He sees the SCVs mining off to the corner there. So he does know that that base is up. So I'm not sure what exactly he's waiting on. I think he might just be waiting for some kind of sick, disgusting recall or something like that. And it looks like he's going to Leta's on the opposite end and is going to be completely ready for this, though. He's mining up his bases. He's just completely prepared for anything that Tempest can throw at him. And look at this. You can see how scared, I want to say, Tempest is playing right now. And Arbiter is pushing in here, though, and he's got his troops clumped up back at home. And there are a lot of mines there. He's going to have to recall into a really off spot. He wants to recall on these factories, but there's a lot of mines in the way, Oh, and he gets past the mines. The observer from before did see that there weren't any mines in that exact position on the factories. However, there are a lot of forces there. SCVs drilling all over the place. A lot of splash damage going off across that factory and machine shop. However, that recall was completely ineffective, killing maybe a couple of tanks and a couple of vultures, maybe a couple of SCVs as well. But regardless, that was fended off extremely well. Even though he did not recall on top of the mines like Leta would have wanted him to, that was fought off extremely well, and there are not a lot of forces back at home for the Protoss player, and he's not going to be able to expand again like he wants to. He really wants that third gas on top of that mineral only, so he's really... Tempest here is really behind. If Leta decides to push out, he can, which is why Tempest is macroing so hard. Leta's just going to keep the scans on. If he sees that Tempest slips in his macro at all, or if he takes himself off of defensive posture, Leta's going to be able to push in on Tempest and just slam him. And if he sees that he expands, he's going to be able to slam him. And or expand, he can really do whatever he wants at this point. I mean, Leta is Leta. He can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to say what he can and cannot do, but those are definitely some of his stronger options. Really, the only thing he doesn't want to do at this point is tech to something like Wraiths or something like that. I mean, he could tech to Ghosts if his micro was on top of, whatever. And here he goes, setting up mines. He might be thinking about trying to take that low ground again. He could just take it with 1 or 2 tanks, which would force some, even just some Zealots and Goons, a couple Goons, some Zealots, into that minefield, and that would set Tempest even farther behind. So, I mean, whatever he wants to do at this point, he really wants to just destroy some forces or just macro up some forces of his own. I mean... He's got so much of an advantage here, and now he is researching EMP at that science facility, so he's going to have science vessels up as well to deal with the Arbiters. He's got really everything rolling for him, and finally it looks like Tempest is going for that bottom right base, and he's spreading his forces all across the map. I think he's just waiting. A dropship is out in the field as well, but I think Tempest is just waiting, looking for where that attack might come in, and he does see it at the bottom left here, or sorry, the center left, center bottom of the map, and it looks like a couple mines going off there, some goons engaging a big pack of vultures, and there are just so many vultures that are just out overwhelming numbers that I think that he's going to Leta rather is going to be able to take this force down handily, and some tanks also in that choke there. Probe transfer going off. Holy crap, I'm getting like epically tired already, guys. Probe transfer going off onto the bottom right base, and it looks like Leta is setting up another command center, and he's going to be floating it to the top left or that bottom middle position. Nice mines going off there, nice mine drag going off, killing a lot of vultures, and some tanks in a shelling position here. Not going to do much of anything with these zealots streaming in here. Just going to be able to pick off these tanks. Tanks getting a couple shots off, killing a couple probes there, I think I thought I saw. And yeah, so that command center is going to be floated to the top left. He also has the option of taking the bottom center of the map as well. I think that base is a little bit easier to defend. I think the bottom right and the top left positions on this map are probably the most difficult bases to take, just because of how open they are. There's a lot of access points to it. And yeah, so setting up turrets, he is definitely going to take that top left base. We're just kind of waiting for him to do it. And like I said, I don't know what Tempest can necessarily do at this point. I think he needs to get off some kind of epic recall, or perhaps even switch to carriers, because I have not seen a single Goliath out in the field just yet. But regardless, even if he does go carries, he's going to have to hide them for quite some time before he's able to push out with them, so that Leta is caught as off guard as he can be, because he's got the upgrades going for him, and when those Goliaths are 3/3 upgraded, they're just going to completely slam any kind of carrier force. And it looks like an Arbiter floating around here, trying to look for a position to recall, not finding it. And it looks like an EMP is going to go off here. EMP might have missed. I can't quite tell if it went off because it had already lost all of its shields. There we go. The EMP did miss. Some mines going off on a couple of those forward zealots. Oh, and a huge mine going off on the pack of zealots there. And yeah, this is just going to get cleaned up very handily. Nice mines going off, I have to say. Losing, just slamming, damaging those zealots rather, a lot. Just doing a ton of damage and hitting a couple of goons as well. And that recall got completely cleaned up. So Tempest just taking more and more steps back, doing the backwards hustle here, not the position he wants to be in. So and just a ton of mines all over that fourth base. So like I said, he's just Leta positioning himself in such a huge advantageous position here, and it looks like Tempest is trying to take that 6 o'clock position. But I really don't think, especially even with those cannons there, I really don't think he's going to be able to hold that. I'm not sure why Leta's building another science facility here. Potentially to go for some kind of battlecruiser ghost combination, which I would love to see, but I don't think that's the case. Probes being transferred and getting caught out in the field here. Some mines going down. I think Leta's just looking to rush in those vultures into that 6 o'clock base. No, he's going to rush into the bottom right position base, and he's going to try to pick off some probes there. And even if he doesn't, I think these mines going down are enough for these vultures, even just to delay some forces from coming in here. I'm not sure that there's enough vultures here to handle those 3 cannons. So yeah,